We are still in pandemic lockdown mode for the most part, although I did shave the quarantine beard about 6 days ago. Um, Still haven't gotten a haircut though. It's getting a little long. That's coming. Let's see if we look okay on the stream. See if we look okay. Yep. And let's finish up my checklist. Good, good, good. Didn't do that. Tweet that you're starting. I always do that. Today, we are going to be working on the result pattern. So now streaming, working on the result pattern and publishing my implementation of it to nuget.org. To Nuget, finally. Twitch.tv/Ardalis. Try and actually spell it right this time. Streaming.net core. Ziggin patterns. There we go. See if that brings anybody. Alright, so there's that. What else we got? Did that, did that, did that. I hope I'm doing that. The camera's working. Looks good. Alright, we're done with that. Just a quick shout out. Some of you have heard of the DevBetter group. We had a great meeting this morning. We talked about a bunch of design patterns. We helped one of our members with some refactoring of their code. Talked about how to configure Azure DevOps projects and repos. If you are looking to join up with a group of great people to network with, and you want to, get better at being a software developer, check this out. If nothing else, go read the testimonials down here at the bottom of the page and see what you think. So, devbetter.com, check it out. And that is my only advertisement during this stream, which most people won't see because they all show up later. So, let's see who's here right now. Like 4 people. Alright, it's Early Dev. How's it going? Yeah, the lockdown beard's gone, and yes, I do look younger when I don't have the beard, especially because it starts to let the gray show. That's true. All this hair on the side that has some gray in it, like when I shave all that down, it takes off like 10 years. Although I'm not going to do like the whole bald head thing. I don't think that would be necessarily a good look for me. Did that in high school every year for swim team, but I'm fortunate that I have all this hair at my age, so I think I should probably stick with it. It is weird though. I noticed like it's been 6 days since I shaved, and my beard is still like barely coming back in. I think it slows down when you have a full beard, and it hasn't like figured out that it could be growing fast again. Your hair grows like Krusty the Clown? Yeah, that sounds about right. Mine gets these like crazy cowlicks all over the place and weird waves and stuff, so it never looks good if I let it get too long. You'll probably see in future streams when I'm wearing a hat that either the haircut went badly or I just haven't done it yet. All right, so recently I realized that I never actually did publish a Nuget package for this result thing. So I figured this would be a good thing to knock out today. And then separately, another Nuget package for this result action filter. Because I don't expect everyone to use that, but I think it would be useful. I could package them together, but I think the result could be useful by itself. What is a result? That is a great question. Let's start with that. So, real quick, a result is just a way to have an abstraction so that you don't tightly couple your services to your controllers or other things that are calling them, but you're still able to bubble up common types of results to them. So let me just verify I've got this thing locally, so I'm not sure I do. And I go to dev, GitHub, result. Do I have it? I don't. Alright, so let's take care of that. Grab it there. Now I have it. Code Stencil, how's it going? Welcome. Alright, so here's my solution, which I just cloned, so I know I've got the latest. Let's see if all the tests pass. They should. This thing's pretty simple. Let's make the sample be the startup. And let me run it. I don't remember what running it actually does. Let's find out. That didn't do it. I said Control F5. Rip.net, hi. Thank you. Appreciate it. I suppose I should change my bot to recognize PS, so that when someone mentions PS, it does the Stream Elements thing that just popped up. Alright, why are you not actually running? Or you're hiding somewhere. Let's try running it on Kestrel instead. What are you doing? There it is. Do I not have a page that launches? Maybe not. It's got a program, it's got a filter. It's got a controller. There. Alright. I guess I just need to hit it manually with the browser. So what are you listening on? 5000, 5001? Alright. So let's do this the hard way. There's nothing there. You're right there. Alright. Try 5000. Well, I would like to show you a demo of this thing working, but let's just look at the code for a second. So this, it got requests. Oh, I'm just not hitting the right endpoint. Let's see, I didn't set up any middleware in here to actually listen on anything. That's the problem. So the only thing this thing is doing is that and that. I don't even have... Okay, so I just have to go to /weather forecast, and then all I can do is post to this. Okay. So it's not very friendly as a sample goes. I need like a home page or something. So while I'm thinking of that, let's go over here and make this a little nicer. Make sample easier to just run. Add a default page. Maybe add Swagger. Make it easy to see if everything works via the browser. That would be nice for me. Hey Simon Gearing, I got your name right. How's it going? Alright, so that is stuff I should do. But instead of that, I have these functional tests. So let's look at the functional tests. These are actually going to say what we're trying to do here. So when we make a post to this forecast thing and we give it a postal code, it's supposed to return OK with a valid postal code. And so these tests all pass. And so I call this, I get a response, I see my list of weather forecasts, and I assert that freezing is the first one. And that's that, right? But if you don't give it any postal code, it should blow up. It should return a bad request. And if I give it a non-existent postal code, it should return a not found. So if I give it not found as a postal code, which is obviously not correct, I expect I'm going to get an HTTP status of not found. Now if we look at the controller, you notice all the controller is doing is delegating to the service. There's no logic in the controller to say return a bad request, which, you know, if it just blows up, that's going to be the default behavior anyway. And there's no logic in there to say return a not found, right? That's because there's this myResult action filter being applied to this. That's where the work is happening. Simon Gearing, I'm right in thinking there is no Nuget package for result yet, and I need to just include the code in my app, right? Well, my goal in the next, what do I have, 100 minutes or so, is to get version 1.0 of this Nuget package out there on Nuget.org. So hopefully within the next 2 hours it'll be out there. Okay, so what does this action filter do? Well, right now, this is not in a separate Nuget package. That's on our list to do. But basically, it looks at the result, and it says, well, you know what? If that result is of type object result, and it's an iResult, which this is defined in Ardalis.result, if it's not one of those, we just return. If it is an iResult, then we continue on. If the controller is not a controller base, then we also return. I forget why I needed that, but I did. So now we're in here, and we know that we have an actual result. So we just do, we could probably replace this with a switch, but for now it's just a series of ifs to say if it's a not found, then we're going to return a not found using the controller's helper method. If it's invalid, then we're going to loop through the validation errors and return a bad request with the model state. And then otherwise, if it's OK, we're just going to return an OK. So subbing gearing has ended up implementing the logic for response codes in the controller methods. Yeah, that's what 90% of, probably 99% of ASP.NET Core devs do. Is all that work ends up duplicated inside the controller. And that's obviously not ideal. So we want to take that duplicate code and encapsulate it in a single policy. That policy will be in a filter, and that filter will be able to translate from this generic result abstraction to a concrete implementation of that result, which is the web result, the HTTP result. All right, so if we look at the actual result class, library, it's pretty straightforward, right? An iResult has a status. It may have a list of errors. It may have a list of validation errors, which are different. It may have a type of the value that it corresponds to. I suppose I could look into why that wasn't just made a generic. I don't remember at the top of my head why this isn't an iResult of t, where t is the type, but we could look at that. And then it has a way to get the value. All right, so then a result is just implemented here, right? And by default, it's going to be OK, but you can use these helper methods. These are all static factory methods, basically, that generate a success with the value. And the result thing is itself generic, even though the interface isn't. You can have error, you can have invalid, you can have not found, you can have forbidden. So these are typically things you might do in a service that doesn't know whether or not it's being called by a web API or whether it could be getting called somewhere else. It could just be an Azure function, or it could just be in a console app, or a WPF app. So all these things could make sense in the context of any of those other clients. But in the context of a web app, it's nice to be able to map these things directly to response codes on a web API. Trouble with the action filter is it does not work when you want to map a mediator command of a domain entity to a request and response DTO using AutoMapper. Well, no, you wouldn't use filters at that point. You're going down the mediator path, so you would just use mediator pipelines instead of filters. Now, you could still have something in your mediator pipeline that would do that work. And instead of doing it with filters, you would do it with a mediator pipeline. What's that called? What's a thing inside the mediator pipeline called? I forget. Is it middleware? What does it call it? Mediator pipeline example? A behavior? Is that what it is? Implementation of iPipeline behavior. Yeah, so you would just have an iPipeline behavior, and that's where you would do the translation, I think, Simon. And that'd be something else to show, perhaps, as another example. So, new issue, add sample showing how to do the mapping in a mediator behavior pipeline. See, do this instead of having to use a filter. How about that? All right. Okay, so we've got a couple things in the backlog, but the first thing I think we want to do is make this thing a Nuget package. So for that, I just need to go find an existing thing that works, like guard clauses, I think. So we'll say github.com/Ardalis/guard clauses. And I'm going to throw this on my other monitor here in a second, but I want to steal these GitHub, not that one. Where's the actions? I thought this had GitHub Actions. Oh, this one's all in Azure Pipelines. Man, I want to just do it in GitHub Actions. Alright, what's a different one? I haven't switched very many of these over to GitHub Actions yet. That one's not either. I know I've got publishing to Azure in a GitHub Action. I don't know if I have publishing to Nuget. I have too many Nuget packages. Nuget.org. Maybe it's Smart Enum. Maybe I did that one. Still Azure Pipelines. Alright, well, I guess we're going to figure out how to do it with a GitHub Action. So let's just add a GitHub Action to this. don't have anything yet, so actions, get started, set up, go away. Set up this workflow, .NET Core. Endless Tracks, thanks for the follow. Also recommend renaming the attribute to end in attribute. I didn't do that? I totally should have done that, I agree with you. Oh, I said it's a filter. It should be a filter attribute, probably. Dot, rename, save. Let's do that real quick. New branch. Rename filter. Home changes. What did I change? Oh, there. That shouldn't be necessary. My rename was too overzealous. Don't need that. There we go. Renamed filter to have attribute suffix, because of course you should do that. Commit, sync, no really sync, push. Probably remove my. Oh, now you're getting picky. It's just a sample. When I do it for real, it's going to have a better name. Result action filter. What's it doing? I mean, action filter attribute doesn't really say a whole lot. I mean, that's just what it is. It's an action filter attribute. Result. What is it doing? Is it mapping it? Yeah, I mean, eventually it'll go in the package, but right now it's just in the sample. But what should we call this thing? Map result to something? Because it's worth thinking about the name right here while I'm about to do a pull request anyway. So, if I see this attribute on a controller or an action, and it said result action filter attribute, that doesn't tell me anything. But if I say it's mapping a result to an API result or a HTTP result, then it makes more sense. Like an HTTP result mapper, a translate result filter. Is it translating? Is it mapping? Is it? I feel like it's mapping. Result action result mapping filter attribute. Yeah, that's just so long, right? Map result to action result attribute. If I saw that, I feel like that would be reasonable, right? And then we go over here, map result to action result. Doesn't that sound okay? That sounds okay to me. What do you guys think? It's mapping. I was thinking it was fine without my. Yeah. I agree with you. The my was unnecessary. Is this okay, do you think, though? I think that works. I'm going to go with it unless you guys are really quick to tell me it sucks. Alright, so map result to action result attribute. We'll call it that. And we'll go find my changes and rename to map result to action result. Commit it all, sync it all, push it all, go out to the browser, pull request, compare, rename the filter, create. This would be a good chance to run my GitHub Actions that I don't have. I should have done the GitHub Action first, probably. Set this up. On master, build with Ubuntu, check it out, install that, restore that, build that, test that. That sounds perfect. Do it. Yeah, commit. Okay. Now it probably won't run on the one I just did. Will it? Yeah, so I need to add branch protection. Maybe? Or I need to add a commit. Let's just add a commit. Let's get rid of that. And remove to do, commit, sync, push. Alright, so this should make my thing fire off. And while we're here, we're going to add a rule for master going to require pull request. Dismiss stale, no. Require status check. Require it to be up to date. Don't have any status checks, that's alright. Great. Turning this into a real thing here. Hope I don't sound like I'm moaning here. I'm not intending to. It's been useful. I came across it at just the right time as I was looking to interact between my controller and Meteor stuff, so thanks much. No, you're not moaning. You guys are all helping me out. And look at this. My build thing showed up, so I can tick that box now and say it's required. So that's cool. If we look at our actions, we should see that it actually did some stuff. It looks like it did it once when I first built it. That's good. It only took 51 seconds. I just wasn't that patient. And now it's doing it again. Alright, while that's finishing up, let's go look for Github Action publish to Nuget. Publish Nuget. There we go. I'm going to want this thing, or something like it. Use latest version. What does that do? Copy. Alright. Come back over here. And I think I'm just going to put this right on my build script. Like, if it succeeds, we'll just put it right in there. Alright, so that ran. So I can merge this thing. So it's got a little check mark next to it. A review is required. Why did I do that? That's crazy. Update it. I didn't think I said review was required in my branch protection, but maybe I got overzealous in my clicking. Require pull request reviews. Okay, that's not what I wanted. I do want to require pull requests, I just don't want to require reviews. Good. Okay, so pull requests, this one, it wants to build it one more time, that's fine. Jeff Widmer, how's it going, man? I haven't seen you in a while. Welcome. Alright, this should finish presently. Now I'm also going to need to get some kind of a publish key from here. So I go down here and I say API keys. I can create an API key for Ardalis.result. Good for a year, it'll push things. And I don't have the package yet. Do I need to have the package? Maybe I need to create it manually the first time. Because of course it's not here yet because I haven't done it yet. You're sharing. Yeah, I know, I haven't actually created it yet. So I'm not gonna show you the actual key. But thank you. Alright, so I need to create the package first. So let's do manage, let's do upload package. There we go. So first, let's just build this package here. So when I come into this, there's not nearly enough properties on that. So let's go back to guard clauses, source, and steal some code from my other one here. And it has package ID, title, yada yada yada. Let's just grab all these things like that and come over here and we'll paste them in right here. And this is Ardalis.result. Result, generate package on build. Yeah, sure, why not? Me, result. It can be lowercase. A simple package, yes, that's what I like. To implement the result pattern for returning from services, let's say. And I don't know what the difference is between description and summary, so we'll just use the same thing for both. Repository URL, that package project URL, those are the same. I don't have a different place for that. Tags, result, pattern, web API, ASP.NET, core, MVC, I guess. Package release notes, initial version. This can be 0.9 because I'm going to publish 1.0 here in a minute, but this is going to be my first one. Package icon URL. Let's just leave that blank for now. I'll come up with something later. Publish, yes. Embed, sure. I don't know what this is. Allow output extensions in package. I'm going to delete that. I don't think I need that. Alright, so with that in place, I think if I build, it'll actually publish this thing. And let's put us in release mode. And then let's do a right-click publish. And that's fine. And do it. Alright, so then there it is. Right there. I created this. So if I go to this folder, there should be a little link I could click to go to that folder. Go here, paste that there. There it is. Alright. So now I can go back to Nuget over here. I'm going to say upload this package. And that's that. Alright. And it pulls all the metadata off of it, which is great. Add markdown documentation. I'm not doing that. Preview. There's no markdown documents. Okay, so what? Oh, right, that's that. I want to submit. Fine. There we go. Boom. We got a thing. Now, it should show up in my keys, which again, I'm going to be clever and not actually show you what that key is. But this should show up there. It does. So this is Ardalis.result GitHub action key. And its pattern is that. And let's take this over to my other screen for a minute. And create the key. What did it do? There it is. Copy it. Alright. Let's just throw it on here for now so I don't lose it. Alright, so now I want to take this. And I think I need to put this in a secret in the repo to make it work, if I remember right. Would you like to volunteer to test it on? Yeah, go for it. I don't think it shows up on Nuget.org yet, but give it a chance. Give it a shot. If you want, you can clone my sample and then just remove the project reference and try and use the Nuget reference instead. That would be a good, easy way to test it. Because you could just run the functional tests at that point. Alright, so this is what I want to do now is come back here. And I'm going to put this all right in this, this one workflow, which I could probably give a better name. How do I edit this? I can't edit it from here. Status badge would be cool, but I'm not looking for that right now. I want an edit button. Alright, well I guess I gotta go to the code, go into workflows, and edit it here. I guess. So if we built and we tested, then we could do this, publish Nuget. That's a lot smaller than I thought it would be. Shouldn't I have all this? Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here. I guess I just need the optional things that I need, right? Yeah, you'll need to wait for it to show up. But soon it will be there. Alright, let's put that over on that side. And let's put this over on this side. And let's see what we need to do here. I think this, for one thing, should be indented over here. Alright, now it's happier. Github action to build, pack, and publish Nuget package automatically when a version is updated. Yeah, but why when I say this did I only get that thing? Bugs inside. Nice. It's like Intel inside. Thanks for following Julius Juno. Alright. So I could create a publish.yaml, And I could just take this whole thing and throw it in there. Maybe that's what I want to do. And then maybe I can make this one depend on the other one. But I feel like I really just need one file. I don't think I need two. So project file path I probably need. So this uses this. Do I say with? I think I say with. Key is a project file path, which will be what? Source, Ardalis result, Ardalis result CSproj. So source slash result slash ardalis.result.csproj. I think. Okay. Package name, don't need that, don't need that, don't need that, don't need that. Those should all be coming from the project file. Tag commit enabled by default. Alright, we'll leave that alone. V whatever, that sounds good. Nuget key, I need that. Nuget key, and that's going to be this thing, API key. You are a Nuget server, include symbols. Okay, I think that's good. Alright, you going to tell me where to put the Nuget key in here? Alright, start commit, adding Nuget publish task. Commit that. Now this is not going to work yet because I don't have that key there. Tony Davis. Hey Steve, I enjoyed your overview of clean architecture at slc.net. One question about feature folders. Will feature folders still be relevant in microservices? Aren't microservices probably only dealing with a single feature? Probably. Yeah, you would hope. But microservices can also grow, and so at that point maybe it makes sense. You know, theoretically your microservice, if it's truly a microservice, should only have like one controller or a couple of endpoints, right? But if its responsibility is larger than that, like maybe it's the identity microservice. Well, what's involved in identity? Well, you can register, you can log in, you can log out, you can forget password, you can maybe see what roles they're in. Okay, well there's like, 10 different things that the identity microservice could be doing. At that point, does it make sense to have a feature folder for just like log in, log out, and then another one for just like register, and maybe another one for things that send emails, and another one for things that, return claims or roles that the user might be in? I think you could still justify that. So they're just an organizational technique. So if your microservice is small enough that you don't need the organization because it's all in one place anyway, then don't worry about it. If you have so much stuff, even if it's only 5 or 10 things, then they might help. And if they help, then use them. The compiler doesn't care, right? It's just a matter of how you're organizing your source code. Alright, so I need to get back into this thing. I don't want to be in the mobile view. I need stop it. I need settings. I need secrets. Secrets. And I called that Nuget underscore API underscore key. So I'm going to throw this over on the other screen for a moment also. I'm going to try and get it to the other screen. Windows is going to try and stop me. Alright. New secret. Your secret name is Nuget API key. Auto-completes because I've done it before. And we're going to take that and we're going to paste it in there and we're going to add it. And now theoretically that's good to go. Alright, so now we're going to try and let Windows pull it back over here. Bingo. Come back to our code. And now I just need to do some edit. Now any change to master will update this thing. So let's just go edit this README file. Actually, you know what? There was a badge. And while they may say we don't need no stinking badges, I think I need a badge. I think I want to go... that was under Actions. Under Actions... Man, where was it? Here, create a status badge. That. Ooh, it's failing. Copy that. That's because I didn't have the key. Back over here, we're going to go here. We're going to add it right at the top. Like that. And that's just a badge. What I really want, though, is for it to be a link. And for some reason, they're stupid and they don't make it a link by default. So, Let's open it in a new tab. Let's go here. I think that's a good link. So for that, we just need to say bracket, bracket, link, I think. Commit that. Alright, so first, it's there. Second, the link works. Third, we're going to do this step. We're going to see if the Nuget part works. But the Nuget's going to fail, just going to fail for a different reason. Anybody know what it is? You got like 50 seconds to guess. Why is this publisher going to fail? Even if my API key works, and even if it tries to hit nuget.org, what did I not do? Wanadza says build environment. No, I don't think that's it. Stream Element says thank you, J Edition. Appreciate the follow. That's always good. Yeah, so publish to Nuget failed. You gonna tell us why? It's gonna make us guess. What I think the reason is that if we go back out to nuget.org and we search for Ardalis without a colon, and we find ardalis.result somewhere. There it is. Notice that ardalis.result version 0.9.0 exists here. If I try to publish version 0.9.0, it will fail. So what I need to do is come back here and say this is version 0.9.1, and this is just testing GitHub Actions publishing. We'll save that and make another change. I need to get back on master. Just create a new branch from here, and we'll call this Ardalis / push new version, and that's fine. And then we'll go commit this change, adding new version, commit, sync, push. Is it going to work, or did I screw up Git somehow? Nope, we're good. Alright, so come back here, come back here, come back here. And now I have this push new version. I thought I merged this one. Didn't we merge this one? Yeah, merge that in there. Oh, you know what? There is a problem with my my automation approach. Right now, every time I make a pull request, it's going to actually try and publish it to Nuget, which is probably not what I want. So I gotta fix that. Alright. I just told it to merge this. 7 gearing, it compiles, so that's good. This is still probably going to fail, so I'm just going to force it to merge. Do it. Okay. Delete that branch. I'm done with that. Alright, now let's do the other one. Compare that. Adding new version. Create that. Update it. Merge, force, confirm. Delete that. Get over here. I don't need that anymore. Get over here, get back on master, and get latest. Alright, now one of these builds ought to actually work, I'm hoping. So if we come back here, Boker says, how would you simply describe when to use services and when to use domain events? If you're talking about domain services, which I assume you are, I would use domain services when I am trying to model something in the domain that has to do with two different entities or aggregates, and it needs both of them, and neither one of them should own that behavior. This should be the exception, not the rule. I think this worked. I think we just published a Nuget. These are going to fail because they're all going to try and push the same version now. So, domain services, you should first try and put the behavior on the entity or aggregate itself. And if you can't, because it needs multiple different aggregates or entities working together in part of a larger operation, then you might look at using a domain service. Events should happen as a result of changes to entities and aggregates. And so they provide a decoupling mechanism for doing downstream things via handlers as a result of operations you perform on a particular entity or aggregate. I don't usually use events from services. I mean, there's no reason why you can't, but generally if you need stuff to happen in a service, you just put it in the service. Whereas on an entity or aggregate, if you need stuff to happen and it needs dependencies, well, you can't inject dependencies into that entity or aggregate. So creating an event and then having a handler that has those dependencies works out really well in my experience. Alright, let's check Nuget gallery. Let's refresh. Look at that, 0.9.1. You bet, you're welcome. Yeah, so that's there. That's good. Now, I really need to figure out how to do... Like, this works, and I could just leave it like this, and it would do the job. But I don't like the fact that when I make a pull request, it's going to run a build, and that build is going to try and publish. So I really need that to be split out. So Github Action publish to Nuget only after merge to master. Right? How to trigger a single build, and this or that, this way to versioning. Push that. Alright. So update Nuget. Do all that. Yeah. Okay. I've got this working. So maybe that's what I need. So I need a trigger. So when I push to master directly, it works. I think I need this. I think I need this trigger. So maybe I can steal this whole thing. But let me create a different action. So add a new workflow. Set up. Is there a Nuget workflow? There's not really a good way to search this. No. So I guess we're going to set up this workflow. Give it a name. Call it publish. And then go steal this over here. Push to new. That's already kind of what I'm doing, but I don't want it to be on pull request. Do I? What are they doing? I'm not sure what this types closed means. When I close a pull request on master, what if I close it but I don't accept it? Does that happen too? Maybe I just need to get rid of the pull request one. Maybe that's all I need. If I get rid of that, then it should only trigger when it actually gets into master. Yeah, I think that's what I think you're right, vHuns, thanks. So we'll do that. And then we'll go steal my code from the other one. Workflow, .NET Core. I think I'm going to need most of these steps. I'm going to just duplicate them. Everything under runs on. Do that. But we can skip the tests, right? Because it would have already run its tests. I'll save a little bit of time, I suppose. And we'll do the publish. Alright, so start that, commit. And we're going to change the other one. this one and get rid of the publish part. Get rid of that. Shoot, I gotta edit it. And I don't think I need this one to run on push to master anymore. I only want this to run on pull request, right? Maybe a separate action that just builds and runs tests on pull requests. Yeah, that's what I think this original one will do. So this is just going to do pull requests, I hope, and the other one is just going to do publishing. And that's still failing. Now if we come in here and we do publish, create a status badge for publishing, maybe? Is that all I care about, is if it publishes? I guess, let's see, the build thing is only going to work on pull requests, so it's the publish one that I need to show here. So yeah, so that needs to be that, which it already was. So that's fine. No, that's the wrong one. That is not what I want, because that one's going to be the pull request one. Alright, let's go back to actions. Let's go find all workflows. All workflows should include publish. Yeah, I guess I need to run a build before it'll show up, maybe? Let's see. Shields.io, Nuget package. Where is it? It's under build? Downloads. That'll work. Nuget slash whatever Ardalis dot result. Do it. Alright, now we can throw that in here. So we have something actually in here. Well, that's horrible. Bam. Bam. Nuget Ardalis result. Paren. Bracket. Double paren. Something like that. Commit. Boker says, maybe the better question is when to use event handlers in domain services. Example would be that both service and event handler could have a reference to an email service and dispatch email. But if I'm getting right what you say, you would use service when there are more dependencies on other entities are involved, and event handlers in case there are downstream operations. That's right. But an email service is not an example necessarily of a domain service, right? An email service, if literally all it's doing is sending an email, that's probably an infrastructure service. And it would just, it would live in infrastructure and you would use it when you need to send emails. And you could call it from a domain service, or you could call it from an event handler, it wouldn't matter. But you should encapsulate that work somewhere else. It's a cross-cutting domain, it's a cross-cutting infrastructure concern, I think. Alright. Why are these things failing? That worked. The real question is, why is that other workflow not showing up? Alright, I got a publish thing. It's in workflows. It's right there. Its name is not a very good name. Let's name it publish to nuget.org. Commit. Okay, do I need to do anything to make this thing show up? There we go. So it needed a unique name, I think. Alright, let's see what this does. This should still fail because I haven't updated the version. So let's do the version tweak again. We're almost good with this. Here 0.9.2, and I don't think I can push directly to master. So we need another branch. Ardalis, run, publish, create, changes, tweak version, commit, sync, push, go back here, pull request, new pull request, no wait, pull request, that pull request, tweak a version, create it. Alright, now let's wait a minute while this thing updates. This should be a real test, right? The build should pass. It shouldn't do a publish as part of the build. And it should be pretty quick. You can show me the details right there. Oh, it jumps me away. Fine. So this takes all of about 50 seconds, we saw. Alright, so that's all good. Doing a lot of work here in this testing project. But it's done. Alright, good. So now back to my pull request. Your green check mark tells me that you're ready to merge. Great. And that's good. Now, back to actions. All workflows, we just merged that into master. So we've queued up a publish job. And the publish job does not run the test, so it should run a little faster. And it says your package was pushed. Bam. So that's it. That's all there is to it, man. We just published something to Nuget. Woohoo! And so here, there's a way in Shields.io to show me. Shields.io. Oh, you know what? Let's just steal it from here. This one has what I want. So I go to guard clauses. Look at its README. Like, I want this Nuget badge and the download badge. So we come in here, and it's these two right here. I think it's those two. Copy that. Back over here. Edit that. Done a core build. Passes. That's nice. Don't need that. I think I want this up front. And then I just want to do that with result. All the places. That one. That one. That's it. Alright. Commit. I could preview it first if I were smart. Nice. Alright. 091. Still no downloads. Come on, Simon Gearing. I thought you were going to download it. It's not your fault. Nuget caches that for like a day, so it's not exactly live. Alright, don't need that anymore. Don't need that anymore. This should show me 092. We are ready to do a 1.0 release, I think. Anything else that we need to do before we do a 1.0? 1.0.0. This is initial 1.0 release. Blah blah blah. That's all good. Let's get on a new branch. Let's go to master. Yeah, just undo that. I always forget to switch back to master. Switch back to master. Force, yes. Do a pull. Then do a new branch. Ardalis /v1 release. Create that branch. Now go back to our project. Give it 1.0.0. Good. And let's get that pushed up. Alright, at this point we kind of know this works. So, pull request, create one of those. That's fine. Wait for that. And I would announce on Twitter that I'm doing this 1.0 thing, but it won't actually show up there for a little bit. Should have one from my commit above. What commit above? Oh, should, yeah. No, I know it should. One download, but again, it's cached, so I know why it doesn't. Alright, so we're in the checks tab. Testing will be done in a second. Now I need to add another class library to do the filter as a separate library and a separate Nuget package. So that'll be the next thing we do. Right, so merge that, and that will kick off the build. We can delete that, come down here, switch back to master. We're going to do a new pull, and we're good to go there. So now, what did I accomplish there? I got an issue closed. So, publish that. Done. Done. Alright. So that's cool. Now I need Ardalis.result. What did I call that thing? Map result to action. I don't know. That's a crazy name. But let's add a new project. Let's go to a new branch. Ardalis/filter package. There we go. Add new project. I think I can get away with just a .NET Standard class library. JF Stern had a good name for it. Did he now? JF Stern. Translate result. You guys like that one better? I still think it's more mapping than translating, but that's just me. Translate result filter? Translate result. They were suggesting translate result, yeah. I could go with that. Translate result. It still has to be a filter though, right? Like that's its thing. Or I could just, if I think there's going to be more than one of these things, I could just call this something like ardalis.result.ASP.NET Core, right? And then anything that relates to ASP.NET Core would go in here, and that would include the filter. So maybe that's what I do. So if you're using ASP.NET Core, you would want to use this thing. It almost wants to be in its own separate repo and everything at that point, right? But that seems like way overkill. I do like the idea of just calling the package ASP.NET Core and putting the filter in it. I think that's what I'll do. So we'll select there. Let's create that. Okay, I don't need class 1. I do need this thing. Maybe use extension naming convention like Serolog does. Like ASP.NET Core extensions, but they're not extension methods. That's the downside to that. Let's see, paste that. There we go. And so you think translate result. I can get behind that. We can try that. Let's see if we can pull in our package for MVC. Or just the abstractions. Do I just need the abstractions? I don't know. Yeah, but they're not extensions. Yeah, I don't think the abstractions is going to do it. I think I need ASP.NET Core, MVC Core. Let's try that. Try abstractions if you can. Yeah, that's what I did try first, but it wouldn't give me these. Now, interestingly, I think I now have a decision to make. Does the ASP.NET Core depend on the Ardalis result project, or does it depend on the Ardalis result package? If it depends on the project, I can just package up the whole thing into ASP.NET Core directly. If it depends on the package, yeah, I think I want to Google that. What do you guys think? I think it should depend on the package, but that's going to make it so the builds have to go. Yeah, normally it's right. That's what I was thinking. All right, so let's just do that. So we're going to say this thing has a Nuget package dependency of Ardalis.result, which is kind of weird because it's actually in the same solution, and it doesn't even show up here yet. Let's say that. Oh, duh. Stupid installed tab gets me every time. Stupid default. Alright. Install that. Right, that way it'll show in the dependency list, which it should. Alright, so now we're building, I think. So it's just a matter of, do we want to rename this thing? And do I need abstractions, or did I get rid of the need for that when I pulled in core? Shoot, I went mute, sorry. I think if we're going to name this thing translate result, I got to say what it translates it to. So it's kind of like, instead of map, I'm just saying translate at that point, right? Translate result to action result attribute. Is that what we want? It's helpful that they have the blue. Yeah, most of them do. The only one I think that I changed it on was the guard clauses one was getting big, so I gave it its own icon. But I still think I should probably put the blue Ardalis icon on there somewhere too. Alright, let's try this. Translate result. Like that. For rename the project. No. Guard clauses is pretty popular, yeah. It's getting up there. Alright, so this now. What should I do with this? So I feel like I want to leave it in there, but you know, if you want to implement it yourself. But so left here if you want to implement yourself. Otherwise, this is using the Ardalis.result.ASP.NET Core Nuget package now. And so I can take all of this and just comment it out, which normally I would never want to leave in my code, but this is just the sample, so people can steal that code if they want to. But now this will need to have a Nuget package reference of, I should probably just do it at the solution level. I haven't published it yet, so it's not there yet, so I can't do this yet. Right. Let's see, I can't do all this in one fell swoop. So this will have to be updated after that. That's fine. Let's just discard those changes. Let's go back to here. Let's go find my changes. We'll just do it in 2 steps. So the changes here, we will discard. And let's just push the csproj, which, by the way, we're going to need to have all those other Nuget-y things added to. Like that. .ASP.NET Core. So result.ASP.NET Core. Like that. Same. Adds ASP.NET Core filters that translate from result to action result. Assembly name. Alright. Now, you were just saying you liked the package icon URLs, and I don't think I have a package icon URL for this, so no I don't. So let's fix that. Let's go steal one. Use of the term. I screwed something up, huh? Copy image. Come back over here. New issue. Update package icon to use this image. Boom. I'm going to use GitHub as my image server. There we go. Now if I go back over here, I can say you're that. I can say the same for this one. You are that. Save. That's all good. Oh, Tony Davis was correcting you. Okay, good. I didn't see your one above. Alright. I'm a little confused about your use of the functional test for web application factory startup, which MS-Docs, which lists you as an author, referred to as integrate. Yeah, I used to call them integration tests, and then I started using functional tests instead to differentiate those from other kinds of integration tests. So, yes, I have updated my naming of that. Microsoft still calls them integration tests, which, it's fine. I think functional tests are... I call them functional tests because they're not just doing a low-level integration of, like, 2 classes together or a class and some infrastructure, but it's the full functionality of the whole stack. It's literally coming in through the front door of the MVC application. It's testing all the pieces of MVC, like routes and model validation and model binding and filters, none of which do you get with a simple integration test or a simple unit test of a controller. So that's why I call those types of tests functional tests. They're sort of almost end-to-end tests. They're not using Selenium. They're not using a browser to drive them. And so I call them functional tests. And it's maybe not the same as what other people call them. Alright. Let's do that. Let's make sure we can still build. And I need to go change up my publish so it'll actually publish this other one too. So first let's look at .NET Core. It's going to build whatever's in the root, which is going to be the solution, and it's going to test whatever tests it finds off the solution. So that should all be fine. But my publish now needs to do 2 publishes. It's going to build all the things, and it's going to publish that one. And then I think I just need to duplicate that and publish the other one as well. So publish Nuget, publish what? Publish Ardalis.result to Nuget, publish Ardalis.result.ASP.NET Core to Nuget. Result.core, Ardalis.result.ASP.NET Core. And again, I think the first time I'm going to have to push it up by hand. So if I'm able to build this in release mode, then I should see a nupkeg file generated right there. No, it's the wrong one. Didn't I tell you generate? Yeah, I did. So here, bin, release, there it is. So that's fine. So let's go back. Tony Davis, thanks for clarifying. BDD, a functional test is something you would stick in Gherkin.doc on. Yeah. Yeah, not having to host images by just stealing GitHub's bandwidth is a good trick I learned. Alright, so let's push this thing up to Nuget.org. Here, upload, browse, go here, to here, to here, to here, to there. And there it is with all the things, and submit. And that's good. Oh shoot. I need a new key, because I locked my key down too much. So I need to go to my API keys, and I need to say create, and this is going to be ardalis.result.star keys for GitHub Actions. And now I'm going to have to say it's this one and this one. And I don't think it even shows it on the screen when I do this, but just to be extra cautious, we'll come over here. We will create this key. Yeah, it's not even visible. And I will click copy. And then I will go back to my settings and my secrets and my key, and I will update my key with that value, and there you would see it. And I update that secret, and now it will work. Alright, so there's that. Is there ever any need to use NewSpec files to publish nupkeg nowadays, or did that die when we moved to .NET Core? I think there might still be a few edge cases where they're used, and I think it depends on what version of the Nuget CLI you have. Because if you use Nuget instead of .NET Publish, you'll get different behavior. So I think there are still scenarios where you might need it, but I generally haven't used it in a while. So kinda, right? I haven't used it, but I think there might be edge scenarios where you might need it. Alright. So let's see what we're doing here. Where's our actions? That failed, but that was expected. Project file not found. That's not expected. Okay, what is my project file? It should be result, source, .NET Core. Yeah, that looks right. That's what I told it. I'm assuming that's the one it couldn't find. Oh, did I not merge this thing in yet? Yeah, it's not there yet. Okay. Filter package. I need to push this up. How did I skip that? Thanks, I'm going to be moving the proj, and the publish seems a lot easier. Yeah, this works pretty well. Okay, so this is not actually even there yet. I haven't even committed it once yet. So, what am I doing? Adding separate package with filters and such. Commit that. Sync that. Push that. And then pull request that. Yeah. Wait for the build. This should be quick. Update. Alright, so this one hasn't yet updated its icon, but it should be doing it soon. This one's got the A icon, which you guys said you'd like, so it's nice. Now, to be clear, I'm not the only one that's ever come up with this idea. This is a common pattern, so you can see there's a bunch of other result packages that are already out there. I'm just doing one myself because I wanted to be able to have the filters that go with it to easily implement it. The other question is, should I use a props file and should I lock these versions together? I don't know. Like, it's gonna be weird when result doesn't rev, and it depends on a higher version, or the other way around. When this filter hasn't changed at all, but result has, and so this one is still 1.0, but it depends on a higher version result. But I think that's fine. I think you run into that kind of thing with package dependencies all the time. I think it's okay. Alright, so that is good. We can merge this, which should trigger the publish. Delete that, and while we're thinking about it, let's get back on master and pull the latest. And then let's go play with the README file again, because I can add some more badges to this thing. I think that can go on another line. And this will go Ardalis.result.aspNet_core becomes its own thing. So result.aspNet_core replaces result. Like that. You were looking at the Fluent result package and making a result Fluent builder. Okay, that would be cool. This thing should really say the name instead of just Nuget, shouldn't it? I guess I could prefix it with some text. I know it looks a little bit ugly, but I guess we'll stick with it. There's some way to change these shields to customize the text in there, which I can do from shields.io, I think. I think we'll leave this be for now. Need to also add some details into what this thing is doing. Now I can update the sample, because I need to do that still. So in the sample, the new name for this thing is translate result to action. To action result. Translate result to action result. So yeah, here, well shoot. Translate result to action result. Let's finish this commit and then get latest and go from there. Apply the backtick translate result to action result attribute to any actions or controllers that you want to automatically translate from result types to action result types. Good enough for now. Commit that. Yeah, shields.io let me do it. I agree. You want to do a pull request real quick? Put this name in here instead of Nuget, and likewise here. That would be awesome. I would appreciate it. If you don't want to, I'll get to it. And if you want to help but don't want to do that, you could also just create an issue to do it, and then I'll get to it because it'll be an issue. Alright, I needed to get latest here, pull that down. Then we're going to finish our commentifying this thing and say this is left here in case you want to implement your own custom filter. Otherwise, just use the ardalis.result.aspnet core Nuget package. There's that. And manage Nuget packages. Ardalis. That's not actually specific enough. There we go. Install that. Sure. Alright. And then on our weather forecast controller, this should be translate something, something, something. Result to action result. Like that. Ew, I needed to change that name. That's not good. But Smith core. This is a breaking change, which probably needs to be a 2.0 release. If I'm following Semver, it should be a 2.0. Yeah, alright, let's do it. 2.0, breaking change, moved to ardalis.result.asp net core namespace. Yeah, and I still can't do this yet, because I'm going to have to update this to the 2.0. Let's get on a new branch. Ardalis, update namespace, create that, come back here, go to my changes. I'm going to add all these, even though I really ought to just do the name change. Move namespace, and update sample. Commit, save, sync, push. Good. Come back over here, go to pull request, go to that, do that. Alright, I can do that. Not sure I can assign it to, but let's find out. Can I assign it to? Yeah, I can. Look at that. Boom, it's yours. Labels. Help wanted. Good issue. Go for it. It's all you. Thank you. Alright. Let's see what's going on with my pull request. Okie dokie. Alright. So this should build. This should get us a version 2 out there. And also my... Where's that package dependencies? That should be on here somewhere, shouldn't it? I'm wondering why the icon for this one hasn't updated. I wonder if that's just my local cache. Nope, it's still there. Alright. Would you also be interested in a PR for an extension method to convert a Fluent validation result to an Ardalis result? Maybe? Actually, yeah. No, that would be cool. We should definitely do that. So yeah. Why don't you create an issue for that also if you want, and I'll assign that to you. Alright, so let's get over here and see what's breaking on this. My tests are now failing. Alright. Well, you know, we never ran them locally, so what are the odds? Yeah. Yeah, that's not going to work without that. All my functional tests are going to break. Because I decided to do the sample too eagerly. I really want to do the sample. I guess we could get rid of these tests. That seems like a bad way to go, but actually, you know what? I'm just going to force merge it. That's better than hacking this. So, pull request. I know what I'm doing because I'm the admin. Merge. Yes, do it. And because I was smart and I didn't run the tests on the publish, it should actually publish. So we'll see. Someday that's going to bite me, but this time I think it's going to work in my favor. Don't save that. And pull. Still don't save that. Alright, now this probably still does not run. But if we can get that published to be a 2.0, that will help us. Because then I can grab the 2.0 version. That. You should show me a 2.0 soon. Because this thing. It'd be good if I could kick off those two publishes in parallel. But I think they're pretty fast. Publish, publish. Good, good. Alright. So it thinks it just worked. There's 2.0. Alright. Now 2.0 won't show up for a moment. But over here, Ardalis core, I can do this. No, the ASP.NET Core one's the only one I want. That's right. So I just want that. Build. That worked. Alright, good, good. Maybe these extensions should go into there as well. Yeah, there's even a to-do that says to move it there. And it even has the right name. Yeah, alright, I should do that. That'll be another update. Okay, we'll end up taking dependency on Fluent validation, so I'll do a new DLL with the same convention you did for the ASP.NET dependency. Like here, you mean? You'll do another project? Okay, that sounds good. That way people only pull it in if they've got that. Alright, so that's a to-do, is to move that. But for now, I think I need this to be the translate. This one. And look at that, it works. Now my test maybe pass. Well, you can't find 2.0 yet. I just gotta wait for Nuget to decide to list it, right? Still validating it. Oh, and the icon's not going to get updated on the other one until I publish a new version for it. So let's do that. New branch, Ardalis, update icon. Create a branch. Go over here, make this 1.0.1, and make this update icon. That should all be good. And save that, and do our commit dance. Icon and rev to 1.0.1. Commit. Sync. Push. This package might end up like Fluent results. I have not used Fluent results. It's possible that I'm just totally duplicating Fluent results, but I didn't know Fluent results was a thing until Simon Gearing told me about it. So yeah, that is possible. But it's mine, all mine. And probably it'll have some variation between it. I don't need to do that. We pushed it. Let's do a pull request. Alright, while he's doing that, let's go look at this other issue. If you're using Fluent Validation, assign Mr. Simon. Trouble with adding Fluent Builder to your package is naming conflict. In the Fluent Results source, they use two classes to get around it. You might have already coded yourself into a corner in Ardalis result. How so? Fluent Builder to your package. I have two classes. What do you mean Fluent Builder? You mean this? I don't have a Fluent Builder, do I? What naming conflict are you referring to? Because the name you would want to use for the builder you're using for the return type, I would want to call it Result Builder, probably. But if I needed to, I could call it Ardalis Result Builder, I suppose. And that would work. Right, this thing should be green, but it's not. What is the issue? Build fail. That's not good. Pretty sure it at least builds locally. Yeah, except for that whole 2.0 thing. It's still blocked by that. Alright. This is the annoying part about depending on Nuget packages. You gotta wait for Nuget.org. Now it's listed. So let's do a rebuild. Unable to find. Yeah. You're wrong, man. You're just wrong. Do an actual rebuild with a restore. I'm telling you, man, it's there. You gotta flush your cache or something, because it's listed. Copy that. Over here. Paste that. It's the same thing. Yeah, that's the same. I'm not changing anything. Can do it if you call it Result Builder. Well, what else would you call it? Of course you'd call it Result Builder. Now I'll create an issue for considering a Fluent Builder, but don't assign that one to me yet until I've coded one locally and have something to PR having tested and got the core. Too late. I already assigned it to you. But if you don't end up doing it, it's no big deal. Alright, I have to go here in a minute. I have to cut this off early because my wife needs me. So I was hoping I could get this part all working and done. But I might have to wait on that. Let's see. Update icon. Just gonna get rid of that to... No, I can't get rid of that to do. I haven't done it yet. You're there. You're there. Why are you not finding it? Okay, good, Simon. Thank you. Alright, is anyone else able to get this to work? Like, can you add a 2.0 of Ardalis Result ASP.NET Core? Because it's out there now. It's right here. It was added 7 minutes ago. It's listed. Whatever that means. I want to force this thing to run again. But if I can't get it to do a restore locally, I don't see why it would work out there yet either. What's this saying? Found one version in Nuget.org. Nearest version is 1.0. Found 0 versions in offline packages. Well, I could add it as an offline package, I suppose, to get around this, but... Neoashi, what y'all think of using SpecFlow with .NET Core projects to run and document our tests? I've used it before. It's been a little while. But I have used it and it's alright. How do you show the Git branch in your PowerShell? That's called PoshGit. PowerShell Git. Easy way to install that is with Chocolatey. So you can say cinst PoshGit if you have Chocolatey installed and This is chocolatey install poshgit. If you don't know what chocolatey is, you should go check it out here. It's kind of like Nuget, but for installing programs on Windows. So you can say find packages. You can search for poshgit, for example. It'll show you what, it's been 250,000 downloads, and you just say choco install poshgit. You should do that from an elevated prompt, not from just a standard PowerShell. If you want to see a list of chocolatey packages that I recommend, go to ardalis.com/tools. And right now my blog is kind of slow. I'm in the process of fixing that. But down here, you'll see a list of things I use, of which poshgit is one of them. So you can run a command here to view all your local packages. And it's, I think I can run it if I can remember it. It's choco list -- local - only, maybe? Hey, I got it right. And so that's all my stuff that's installed locally, and there's poshgit, right? That's how I installed Winamp too. So you see Winamp's running here. I installed that with chocolatey. Alright. Like I said, I have to go, and I was really hoping that this would work. And I don't know why it's not, but that cache has got to clear soon. So let me just find someone that I can raid right now with you happy people. Stop that. Go to my dashboard. Hope you guys are all staying safe. Thank you all for hanging out with me this afternoon for a little bit. Sorry I have to cut it off early. I haven't raided Clarkio in a little while, so let's send you over there. So have a nice weekend. Hopefully this is helpful for you. Check out the Nuget package. Check out all my Nuget packages. Let me know if you have any suggestions or issues you want to add. I appreciate it. And go have fun seeing what Clarkio is up to today. Thanks.